Good morning, everybody. It is Sunday, August 16th, 2026, and my anxiety and trauma responses are off the scale. I am still having to deal with the Vermont Country Store. They have been harassing me through the courts for over a year, and the courts are more than happy to accommodate. They filed a slap lawsuit against me for making public the fact that they discriminated against me, retaliated against me, and illegally fired me. On May 8th, my doctor sent a note that I was not to be involved in any more court proceedings until after I had completed intensive outpatient therapy, mental health treatment, because of the damage that this lawsuit has been doing to me. Neither the lawyer nor the judge cared about my doctor's note, and they did not comply with it at all. June 9th, Vermont Country Store's lawyer did what's called a document dump on me. 419 pages, not in any order, a lot of them repeating, that I had to sift through in order to get ready to use it for what I needed to. And then on June 26th, when they knew I was still in therapy, they dropped a motion for partial summary judgment, a statement of undisputed facts, and a declaration from Jill Marrow saying that everything else was true. I have to respond to every single line in those documents, in all of those documents. They are fighting my intentional infliction of emotional distress, negligent infliction of emotional distress, loss of wages, slap lawsuit, defamation of character. So I have to go through everything that's happened all over again to pick out things that they have done to support my position that yes, they have done this. I also have to go through the statements of undisputed facts and pick out stuff from what's been happening for the past year that disproves those statements. And I have to go through everything to dispute the declaration from Jill Marrow, and a lot of it I have to use the 419 pages of information along with everything that I have in order to prove the case. So I am, and it's intentional for them. It's called document dumps. It is a very unethical way of burdening opposing counsel and making their life difficult, sending those to me after my lawyer had said I am not to have any, it's his medical opinion that I should not be involved in any more court proceedings until after I got out of mental health treatment, dumping those on me in the month where I am in treatment. You can't tell me that wasn't intentional, especially with this lawyer and his background. So I am not sleeping again. I'm not eating. I am exhausted. I am stressed. I am terrified I'm going to lose my home, because one of the things they did is sent me a letter. If I didn't get all their equipment back to them within 2 business days from receiving this letter, they were going to change my termination reason, and this was a month after they fired me, mind you. They were going to change my termination reason from performance to theft and tell any employer who contacted them that I was fired for theft. I don't ever remember getting that letter. I had long COVID. I had an injury I was dealing with to my arm. I couldn't have picked anything up if I wanted to. And they all but told me I could not go up to Yankee Surplus and drop it off, where I could get somebody to at least help take it out of my vehicle. They wanted me to take it to the post office, load it into the car, bring it to the post office, unload it, stand there in line with it, waiting for to be called, and then hand it off. And they said so it was easier for me. No, it wasn't. I didn't actually end up getting over long COVID until somewhere in November, when I actually started feeling like I could be on my feet for more than 2 hours a day. And Yeah, so beyond that, there's what they put in the summons and complaint, that I knew that the PII was, that I knew I had the PII, that I had taken the PII, and that I knew it was confidential when I posted it. They're saying, well, they didn't say that I knowingly took it and that I knowingly posted it. Well, if they're saying that I knew it was confidential when I posted it, they're saying I had access to it through work. They're saying that I knew it was confidential when I posted it. It kind of puts the two and two together, that they're saying I knowingly took it and I knowingly posted it. But they're saying they didn't say that. So they're saying that my defamation of character should be dismissed. Well, they sued me for breach of contract. They sued me for making the PII public, even though it was their fault. They sued me. They tried to get a preliminary injunction on me to have the court make me take everything down 2 different times. Once in the cease and desist letter, and once in the lawsuit paperwork. But they're saying that they've never said I can't express my opinion about the Vermont Country Store, when that's in fact what they're saying, because they don't want me to be able to post any proof of what they've done. And if I'm just saying something bad about them without being able to post the proof, then you know that they're going to come after me for slander or libel, whichever form I put it in, instead. So it's just a big smokescreen, and unfortunately this judge is about as biased as you can get. She is literally giving them everything they ask for. They're denying everything of mine based on format instead of content. And she's denying my motions with prejudice, when the Vermont or U.S. Supreme Court was very clear of when that's not supposed to be used and when it is. There is so much case law for Vermont where if somebody is pro se, and especially if they have mental health issues or learning disabilities, it's called, the judge is supposed to construe the filings liberally in the best interest of the filer, or that will help the filer the most, in this case me. She has not done that. Nobody has said that I'm wrong, that it's a slap lawsuit. Nobody has said I'm wrong, that it should be dismissed on the merits. Nobody has said I'm wrong, that the handbook is not a contract. They are dismissing my filings because I didn't format it correctly. And they know from my doctor's orders that this is causing traumatic emotional damage for me, drawing this out when they know the lawsuit is false. Again, they're suing me for breach of contract. They're calling the handbook a contract. The handbook says it's not a contract. The signature page, both of which the Vermont Country Store submitted as proof, both say the handbook is not a contract. Their lawyer finally admitted the handbook is not a contract. But I can't go for summary judgment with that, because the judge has dismissed it with bias and said, or with prejudice, and said I no longer have that avenue. I have also proved that I did not take the information from the Vermont Country Store. I did not take the screenshots. I did not attach them to an email. I did not attach them to a Word document. I did not send them to myself. They were sent to me. Because it was part of an audit, and attaching PII is not part of the normal workflow, it is not supposed to be done, I had no reason to think it was there. The Word document that it was on had my name on it, and there was no anything. There was no PII included, there was no confidential information, there was nothing on the email that said there was something there that shouldn't be. And the screenshots show it came from a CSR2 database. I was a CSR1. They know all of this. This is a slap lawsuit. It is meant to burden, stress, caused damage financially. I can't even afford vehicle insurance right now. I have not been able to pay my mortgage in over a year. I am about to lose everything because the Vermont Country Store discriminated against me for unknown reasons, retaliated against me when I asked for an accommodation, again in writing this time. Again, they retaliated against me when I filed a complaint with the Attorney General's office. They have told people that work there they are not allowed to talk to me. They are not allowed to respond to my texts. And I do have all of that in writing that they actually sent me during discovery. So they know they have no basis for this lawsuit, but they're continuing it to cause me mental distress and mental health damage, trying to get me to agree to take down all the information that proves that the Vermont Country Store and their blissful Vermont family values image is nothing more than a mirage.